Okay, in this video, I'm briefly going to discuss kites. Um, and kites are a type of quadrilateral uh, with two pairs of adjacent congruent sides. Okay, so for example, AD here, this side, and this side, they're adjacent and they are the same length. So they're adjacent and congruent, and that's one pair. This pair of congruent sides, uh, they're adjacent and they're congruent as well. Okay, so now let's get into the diagonals. Pretty simple here with the diagonals. They're simply always going to be perpendicular, right? So diagonal AC on this guy is going to be perpendicular to diagonal DB here. Okay, and we see clearly we've got a right angle formed there. So we can plain as day say diagonal AC is perpendicular to diagonal DB. Right, and the same is going to go for, this other example here. FH is going to be perpendicular to EG. Clearly see that's going to be a right angle there. Right, and we also see what we saw before. These two sides here are adjacent and they are also going to be congruent. And these two sides are adjacent and congruent. So we have two pairs of adjacent congruent sides, right? And we also see that all four of these side lengths are the same length. So EF, EH, FG, and HG, they're all the same length. Okay, this is what we would call a rhombus. All rhombi are also actually kites, okay, because they have perpendicular diagonals and also because they have two pairs of adjacent congruent side lengths. Okay, and the same goes for what we see over here. This should look pretty familiar. So if I connect the diagonals, JL and IK, again, we see they will connect at a 90-degree angle. And that makes this a kite. And we obviously see that this is a square. We've got four 90-degree angles, right? And we have one pair, two pairs of adjacent congruent sides. Okay, so a square is also a kite. Okay, and we'll get into more of those particulars in another video. But anyway, yeah, that does it for kites. Kites are pretty interesting. Their biggest distinguishing factor, besides the two pairs of adjacent congruent sides, obviously, is that their diagonals will always intersect at 90 degrees. They're always going to be perpendicular. So that does it for this video. If you have any questions about kites, you know where to find me. Goodbye.